Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about all defense down, World Boss Ultimate, the striker interaction, and why the filling up the cup sort of works, but not really, and it's still dead in the way that it used to be. So the filling up the cup method, just for those of you that don't remember, is where you would use Weapon Hex as a striker because her all defense down cap is minus 100%, stacks up to. That's the cup is the stacks up to part. So her cup stacks up to minus 100, which is the highest in the game. Once you get to minus 100 and any higher, the damage is just nuts because the boss basically has zero defense, so you're slapping them around, which enabled characters like Wolverine, Mr. Fantastic, and others to do incredibly high stages of World Boss. It allowed characters like Hulkling to do stage 50, Ebony Maw, and just completely ridiculous stuff like that. So the filling up the cup thing is dead in the way that we understood it, because as you will see when you go into a high level world boss, now obviously I can't vouch for a low level world boss. It may work. I'm not exactly sure how the interaction works between your level, your conqueror level, and your resistance level. You can see there the recommended resistance is 6,800 or 680, but my current resistance is only 403. But we're gonna go in with this team here. We can actually take away Mystique and put in Shuri here, and then we are going to use the 30%, the minus 10% up to 30% all defense down on Captain America's 4th skill, and we're going to use Weapon Hex as a striker. And as you will see at the very beginning of the fight, it works. It definitely does work. But as the fight progresses, it basically just falls off a cliff. And this is not accidental. This is intentional. This is the resistance system. So let's take a look here. We're going to call her in, and then we're going to use our 4th skill. There we go, and then we're going to, okay, that didn't really work. All right, let's try this again. We're gonna use our 4th skill after she does her 5th, and you can see there's a big burst in damage. Well, it's not quite a big burst in damage. Okay, let's try this again. It didn't really work out right away. Maybe calling her in with the co-op skill was not ideal. It's very finicky. I think the all defense down system is a lot more annoying now. I think it's much less reliable. I think just if you don't have all defense down on a character, you can bring in one striker. I think it's just much simpler to understand it that way than it is to try and finagle with these strikers. But anyways, we're gonna attack her normally with Captain America, and then we're gonna apply our there we go. See, there we go. So you see a big burst in damage, and you're like, wow, Cynicalex, I thought the all defense down thing didn't work, but look at that. You did a bar of damage. I did. Now let's see what happens if we continue this process. So we're going to continue attacking her. We're gonna actually wait a little bit longer here. We're going to prompt her to come out again. There she is again. No, she didn't apply her. What is that? Reality? Oh, it's the reality manipulation. All right, we're going to wait. Okay, there she is. We're going to use our 4th skill. And you can see there's a bit of a burst there, but the burst is obviously less so than it was before, right? We're going to let her come out again. Okay, we're going to use our 4th skill. And now you can see it kind of just doesn't work anymore. And you're like, what's going on? What's wrong? Well, it's resistance. This is basically how it works. That's basically it's resistance. Now, yeah, if you go to a lower level, then it doesn't happen as quickly. So if you go down to a stage 60 where I have the recommended amount of resistance, I need 390 and I have 403. Now let's go take a look at, we're going to take away Shuri, just so that we don't do too much damage, and we're going to see here that you're going to be able to apply it for a longer portion of the fight. But it's definitely dead in the way that it used to be, where you could do a 5-minute fight and you could continuously fill the cup over and over again, and it would work. So here we go. We're going to wait for her to come in as a striker. There she is. We're going to use the 4th skill. We're going to fill up the cup. There's the crazy damage. Cool. She comes back in again. We're going to do it again, and you can see, once again, crazy damage. So remember, when I was on stage 80, it worked once. Now I'm on stage 60, it worked twice, and it's going to actually work more than twice. We're just going to have to wait here for this to go through, and then as soon as she's done her little buff, we're going to pop the 5, let Weapon Hex come out. There she is. We're going to fill up her cup, and as you can see, it's still working. It's not quite as strong as it was. It's subtle. It's kind of subtle in the way that it stops, but it's definitely not as much. See, there's a little burst, but it's not quite the 2 or 3 bars that it was, right? Okay, there she is. So I'm gonna come in now, and there we go. Okay, so yeah, this works, right? Oh my gosh, the filling the cup works. Yes, if you have enough resistance, then it basically reverts to the way that the strikers were before, but you'll never get enough resistance for the higher stages. Eventually your Conqueror level will be outdone by the resistance. So you can see here, I still have the ability to fill the cup, right? We're still in it, and I think we can actually just kill her. But again, this is stage 60, right? Once you go high enough, once your resistance is lower, once you don't have the recommended amount of resistance, it will no longer work for you. So this is definitely true, and so that's why you can see once you start getting into the recommended resistance, you start to encounter problems. So I do take a little bit of issue with people out there, you know, putting out videos or putting out content or putting out this idea that you can still fill the cup. Now, you can still fill the cup in the first maybe 30 seconds of the fight at very high levels, you know, stage 60, 70, 80. But if you don't kill the boss within a very short amount of time, it's not going to work. As the fight progresses, the all defense down just won't apply anymore. It just won't work in that same way. However, if you kill the boss really quickly, it does work. Yes, it does, because the resistance takes time. It's like a tolerance effect, right? The first time you hit the boss, they feel it, but the second time, third time, they build up a resistance. That's what resistance is. It's building up some sort of immunity or some sort of defense to something that's attacking you. I'm Canadian, so I have a resistance to the cold. I also have a resistance to not saying sorry, and I also have a resistance to maple syrup. So we are going to be filling the cup today in a clip that I was blown away when I first saw it. And I did it. I was able to duplicate it on stream with, you know, great fanfare. It was amazing to watch. And this clip, this idea, which will be in this clip, doesn't come from me. It's not my idea. So I have to give full credit to Whoville Thug. If you guys know who Whoville Thug is, you will see them on some of the leaderboards for some of the bosses. And if you scroll there, speak of the devil and they shall appear. There you go, Whoville Thug with the Namor combo there, number 2. Now you can see there. Look at that goofy team. I'm ranked 17 right now. I was goofing around. Well, I wasn't goofing around. I was copying Whoville Thug, and I got 17th on Thanos. And my highest stage is stage 57, which is not even that high. But we're gonna go over now to stage 57. And you can, or stage 58, and you're going to see that my resistance is lower than the recommended resistance. So first of all, against Thanos, all defense down in the second phase of the fight doesn't work. So Thanos, the resistance doesn't even really matter, because if you don't one-shot Thanos and you're using all defense down, once you get him down to 11 bars, it's just not going to work at all. However, we're going to use this team here. This is a very bizarre team, but shout out to Whoville Thug. And we are going to essentially fill the cup using Captain America as a support sort of striker, on the team as a character. Now, you can't use Captain America as a striker the way that we used to use him. The striker combo doesn't work anymore. But we're going to use him. We're going to use Captain America on the team with Sharon Rogers, and I'm using Sharon Rogers' leadership because I don't want to switch. You can use other characters besides White Fox, but it does change around the team up skill, and the team up skill is going to be important because you're going to have to insta cancel the team up skill into the third skill. You'll see the combo in a second, but the reason why this is important is because of Captain America Generational Justice, Sharon actually does her fourth skill. You don't want her to do that, but anywho, so if you did that, if you remove that and you went to Coulson, then she actually does a different one, or she only does the fourth one. So anyways, we're gonna stick with White Fox here. White Fox also gives you, of course, 55% increased damage against villains, and White Fox also gives you 10% all attack or 15% all attack. So White Fox is great here, but we don't want to use White Fox's leadership. We don't want to use the debuff for Captain America's all defense down. We're not doing any of that stuff. We're not switching from Captain America to Sharon Rogers. This is a one shot, and we're going to be using just Doctor Strange and Weapon Hex, and we're going to be using Weapon Hex to set that 100% all defense down. And then Captain America is going to come in and fill it up right away. And Doctor Strange is going to time freeze Thanos so that he doesn't go into his next phase. The important thing here is time freeze. You can possibly use Professor X or someone else, but it's a little bit tricky. So you wait here at the beginning, and you insta-cancel 4 into 3, then you go 5, and then you go 4. Now, I didn't get it right. I didn't do it quite fast enough. But look at how much damage you did. And you've seen this before. You've seen these 8-second clear videos. You can see them with Sharon Rogers. You can see them with Iron Man as well. The Iron Man combo is a little bit more complicated. You need Nick Fury and possibly Coulson. You set down Nick Fury's bubble. And this can work with Nick Fury too. I'm not saying this doesn't work with Nick Fury. But it's hilarious because this team is actually much cheaper You don't need any paywall characters. The only one you need that's possibly expensive is, of course, White Fox. But you wait for the beam, and then you 4 cancel into 3 instantly, and then you sit on the 5 for a second. We were a little bit... It definitely does take, you know, multiple attempts here. It's one of those things that you're not going to get on the first try. You know, it could take behind the scenes. It could take YouTubers like me and others 10 tries, 20 tries, 30 tries, 40 tries. So this is obviously not a strategy that is consistent or reliable. You can get better at the timing, sure, but it's never going to be, you know, automatic. And why should it be? Well, it's overpowered, obviously. So you're gonna cancel. You're gonna co-op into. Okay, yeah, we goofed that up. You have to get the accumulation as well. So we goofed that up. We didn't cancel the co-op into the 3 fast enough. The reason why you want to do that is because the co-op skill has her do the 4th skill because of the team up with Captain America. So because she does the 4th skill, she goes to the other side of. I wonder if you do this, if she'll do something else. Maybe the positioning of the characters doesn't matter. She basically jumps to the other side of Thanos doing her 4th skill. You don't want that. You want the accumulation. The accumulation is actually really important because it scales her damage. But basically what you're doing here is you're taking advantage of the fact that even though you don't have enough resistance, at the very beginning of the fight is not yet calculating... Oh, I didn't do the 3rd skill. I'm just a big dummy. I didn't do the 3rd skill. I didn't cancel it. At the beginning of the fight, even though there's resistance, it's not quite there. And I showed that against stage 80 Proxima. And so once I get this to work, okay, what I'm basically saying is, and Whoville Thug has shown this in clips, you can do this to stage 70 Thanos. You can possibly do this to stage 80 Thanos. So I would hazard a guess that this is the cheapest way to do the stage 19, stage 29, stage 39. I didn't do it again. What's going on? All of those clears. I think the positioning does matter, actually. You know what? I think... Oh, we got down to 8 bars. So you could even take over from there. You see there, 8 bars. You could take over from there and try to beat him at 8 bars. Yeah. But I think that's unrealistic, Chauncey. I think they can update 2 or 3 game modes. We'd be lucky if they upgraded 2 or 3 game modes. Whoville Thug! Trying to get a hug? Are you trying to get a hug from me, Whoville Thug? Because I got hugs for you, baby. I got hugs for you today, tomorrow, the next day. Actually, not the next day. The next day I have to hug my mother because it's her birthday. The day after that, the day after that. So this is a really good combo for you to use. Obviously, you have to go and get White Fox from the Heroic Quest. I would not recommend using a Mega Tier 2 on her. Just play the Heroic Quest for 2 or 3 weeks. And that, 2 or 3 months, excuse me. And that will give you enough biometrics of hers to get her to Tier 2. I know it's a long time, but it's much, much cheaper than... I totally goofed it up. I didn't press 5. It's a lot cheaper to get her for 2 or 3 months by spending, 1,500 or 2,250 crystals than it is to use a Mega Rank Up ticket and a Mega Tier 2 ticket. I mean, they are giving away Mega Tier 2 tickets every month now, so maybe you don't care, but this is definitely tricky. But, oh, Invisible Thanos. I love Invisible Thanos. Okay. Oh, wow. I am a total mess right now. I cannot get this. I want to keep this as a one continuous recording rather than cutting it, because I want you guys to see really genuinely how many tries this takes. I'm not trying to advertise this as like the new way of playing. This could obviously be very annoying and very frustrating. It's hilarious with Invisible Thanos, but otherwise, oh man, yeah, there, Doctor Strange didn't time freeze him correctly. Something happened with Doctor Strange, but this can work if you're having trouble clearing stage, like I said, 19, 29, 39, 49. I'm going to use this for stage 59 to get that 100-second clear. You probably have to use something like this from 59 and up because he just has too much HP and you can't do enough damage because all defense down doesn't work. But maybe we got it this time. No. Maybe you could at lower stages from here, because you got basically half of his bar down in the first 8 seconds. You could probably beat him in the next 90 seconds, a minute and a half. You could probably beat him with a few well-timed tier 3s. You can get one tier 3 off every 30 seconds, so you have it's like 20 seconds. So you have about 3 tier 3s to kill him, which probably shouldn't be too bad. But let's try to get this. Oh my god, I didn't press the third skill. This is a shame. Shame it's the... No, we don't want to bring Red Skull. You don't want to bring any other strikers. I'm not sure why you don't want to bring any other strikers. Maybe it's because they interfere. Maybe it's because when you have multiple strikers, like 3, 4, or 5, it's going to dilute. Maybe sometimes Weapon Hex and Captain and Doctor Strange won't jump in. I don't know exactly why, but this is what I've seen him do. So I'm going to stick to the strategy that works, obviously. I really want it to work. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing wrong, but you guys can sort of get the point. I really wanted to show you guys. You get the point of what I'm trying to do here, but this is not meant as... I don't want anyone to assume or to get the impression that this means that the fill the cup method works, because it doesn't work. It's just that in the very beginning of the fight, you can sort of think of it like a timer. There's a timer, there's a window of opportunity to use it before you can't use it anymore. And if you, of course, if you do enough damage, you know, you can go all the way, right? If you can do enough damage in one shot, you can get them down to 0, and you're done. And we got down to half 10. We're on, like, whatever, attempt number 20. We're going to give this one more try here and see if we can get it to work. But if not, then you'll just have to, you know, accept that it does work, but I can't show you right now. You can obviously find clips. I think Forgo has some clips. Some other YouTubers have some clips with Iron Man. But like I said, this is a much cheaper alternative to Iron Man. So shout out to Whoville Thug one more time for showing this to me. This is a much cheaper alternative to Iron Man. And, oh, I really thought that was the one. This is a much cheaper alternative to Iron Man. And, of course, it's Sharon Rogers. Everybody has Sharon Rogers. But on top of being a cheaper alternative, it can go a lot higher. I don't know how high Iron Man can go. I haven't seen 70 or 80, but I have seen... I've seen 69, which is the level 70 gatekeep. And I think I've seen 79 as well for this strategy working, or at least working to the first half of his HP, and then you being able to take him down the rest of the way with a regular fight. It won't necessarily get you the 100-second challenge on those higher stages, but it'll at least allow you to actually compete. So I wanted to make this video. I wanted to shout out Whoville Thug. It was really, really cool. I'll include the clip at the end of me actually doing it on stream, because it was awesome to see it actually work and actually happen and actually be successful. And it was actually how I beat stage 57 and got that rank 17 that you saw there on the leaderboard. But I also want to take this opportunity to explain that the fill the cup method sort of works, but it does not work for the entirety of the fight. And the amount of time that it works will go up the lower stages you do. So at stage 1 or at stage 10, you can probably fill the cup as much as you want for the full 5 minutes. But as you go to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, you will see a drastic reduction in the amount of time with which you can fill the cup. And so as you saw with Captain America, I was able to fill the cup maybe once, maybe twice, and then it just ceased to work. Whereas with lower stages, if you have enough resistance, you can definitely do it for, again, the majority of the fight, if it's only going to last a minute or a minute and a half, because you're doing so much more damage. So hopefully this has been helpful to you. Hopefully some of you that were just, you know, completely swearing off using Weapon Hex and Hydra Cap have a little bit more use for them now, at least against Thanos. I know some of you guys don't play Thanos because he's quite annoying and quite challenging, but maybe seeing this will encourage you to use these characters against him and actually get some wins and maybe get some of those Odin's Blessings and get some of that Conqueror level to get some of those CCF rewards and stuff. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Whoville Thug Thanos one-shot. That's TM pending. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. But I think that's unrealistic, Chauncey. I think they can update 2 or 3 game modes. We'd be lucky if they upgraded 2 or 3 game modes. Whoville Thug! Trying to get a hug? Are you trying to get a hug from me, Whoville Thug? Because I got hugs for you, baby. I got hugs for you today, tomorrow, the next day. Actually, not the next day. The next day I have to hug my mother because it's her birthday. The day after that,